At this time, I invite you to please stand for the procession of the graduates and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and the playing of our national anthem. President, Ms. Chloe Lee, to the podium to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the national anthem.
Proudly
Please be seated. And now the Preparatory Concert Choir and String Quartet, under the direction of Ashley No, will now perform the song Breaking Free. Preparatory Concert Choir. I now invite Headmaster Robert Mendoza to the podium.
Dear family, friends, faculty, staff, and our esteemed graduates of the class of 2019. What an honor to stand here before all you young people on such a joyous occasion. Before I begin, I'd like to recognize some special guests this evening, Mr. Matt Calabria, Dr. Kevin Rafferty, and Mrs. Kelly Cameron, representing our historic Anaheim, Anaheim Hills, and North Tustin campuses, respectively. Many faculty and staff, many who have taught you, our graduates, are here as well to celebrate. Many members of our business office in attendance as well. I thank you all for coming and sharing in this joyous occasion. Hearing all the incredible accomplishments of our graduates during our senior farewell ceremony on Tuesday served as a reminder that our seniors were instructed by the best faculty around, period. A faculty that puts their students ahead of themselves. A faculty that will break their back to see our young people succeed. A faculty that loves each of you for your unique selves. For that, I thank you. Thank you to our staff and administration who does all the behind-the-scenes work to make the prep the special place it is. Thank you to you. Graduates, what a year. We've experienced the highest of highs and we've experienced the lowest of lows, but we experienced them together. Graduation is a time of reflection and to celebrate the completion of a 4-year journey. This class had bumps and detours along the way, none bigger than the passing of our beloved Erica Paletis. Please know that she will also finish this journey with you today, as she'll be granted the posthumous diploma that she has earned and deserves. It will be presented to her parents at a later date. Erica, we love you, and you will always be a part of the class of 2019. As students, you come to the Preparatory Academy to learn from your teachers and coaches. But I must tell you, we learn from you as well. We learn that compassion runs deep in all of you, that you genuinely care about your classmates and friends, even if it's to your detriment, that you look out for one another as a family unit should, and for that, you should be commended. I thought long and hard about the message I wanted to leave with you today. I decided to focus on the message of happiness, or at least what we believe happiness to be. In order to do this, it's necessary to define a few terms in advance. Perception. What is perception? One of the ways perception is defined is as a way of regarding, understanding, or interpreting something, a mental impression. Reality. What is reality? Reality is defined as the world or the state of things as they actually exist, as opposed to an idealistic or notional idea of them. Now, what is perception versus reality? The implication is that because each of us perceives the world through our own eyes, reality itself changes from person to person. While reality is a fixed factor in the equation of life, perception of reality is a variable. Now, I'm not going to stand up here in front of you on your graduation day and just recite definitions of words. What I do want, however, is for you to keep those definitions at the forefront of your mind for the next few minutes as I talk about happiness. What is happiness, you ask? Well, based on the aforementioned definitions of perception versus reality, it's safe to say that happiness and the definition of happiness varies greatly from person to person. As an elite, affluent private school, many of us in here equate happiness to success in our chosen profession. Others may use income level, societal status, and or an accumulation of material goods as your barometer for happiness. Others may choose to value family relationships and a large network of friends as your key to happiness. When preparing for the speech, I thought about a message I could deliver that might resonate with our graduates. Something that isn't a challenge or advice-driven, but rather a thought-provoking topic that I hope is worth your time to consider after tonight. Our young people today face more stress and pressure than any previous generation. Your parents, your family, your culture, everyone seems to have the highest expectations of you. This isn't even including the expectations and pressures you have placed on yourself. You feel pressure to be the best student, the best athlete, to get into the top college or university. These pressures often drive us to the ultimate goal of having a fantastic career and making lots of money. My question to you is simple. Does this define happiness in your life? Being an educator for the past 25 years, it's common to hear parents come in and they will tell us what their child is going to be as an adult. My son or daughter is going to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, a business person. While these are all fantastic aspirational goals, they often do not match the goals of our students. This may lead to a career in a field that lacks individual fulfillment, passion, and joy. Is there any amount of money worth waking up to on a daily basis if you're miserable? For some of you, yes. For others, money cannot buy happiness. There's an indigenous tribe in Brazil known as the Paraha. The Paraha people and others who have been lucky enough to interact with them consider them the happiest people on earth. I'll cover a few areas which will cause all of us in the room to challenge this claim in one way or another. For example, the Paraha do not believe in sleeping for longer than 20 to 30 minutes at a time, while many of us will say things like, good night, or rest well. The Paraha will say something to the effect of, don't sleep, there are snakes around. In fact, if the Paraha happen to fall asleep for longer than was intended, 20 to 30 minutes in duration, they change their names because they no longer believe they are themselves anymore. The Paraha culture is concerned solely with matters that fall within their direct personal experience, and therefore there is no undefined past or future, only their current personal experience and living memory. They have a concept, an expression, known as zipio, meaning experiential liminality, which describes something experienced. Politeness in the tribe does not exist because it only shows a lack of trust in each other. Everyone loves, supports, and understands each other in the tribe. They do not question or try to reason things too much. Children are not punished, nor are they yelled at. The only explanation and reasoning they have is, it just happened. One of the strongest Paraha values is no coercion. You simply don't tell other people what to do. You do not command nor give advice. Everyone knows what they have to do without being told so. Since there is no social hierarchy, no one is better or worse than the other. The tribe doesn't have leaders. Everyone is equal, and everyone is equally good. Paraha do not have any concepts of a supreme entity or God. They require evidence on personal experience. Otherwise, they dismiss it as irrelevant. While this type of life is unconscionable to most of us, it is the key to happiness for this particular culture. Would a 7-figure salary, a jet, and a mansion be appealing to the Paraha people? No way. They have no concept of money or material goods. They place value on the simpler things in life, like relationships and equality. I am certainly not suggesting that you veer off your chosen path and live the life of the Paraha people. What I am saying is that we should not judge their way of life, nor should anyone judge you. They have found happiness in its most basic form. Growing up, I come from a large family. There were 6 of us, 3 boys and 3 girls. My father worked at an inner city, all-boys Catholic school. My mother decided to forego her own career path to do the toughest job imaginable, raising 6 kids. We had everything we needed, but rarely was there an opportunity for the finer things in life. Vacations consisted of driving in an overpacked car to Arizona to visit family. All we really had was each other. And with that in mind, I consider myself one of the happiest people in the world. You see, to me, happiness begins and ends with the health and love of family. Others may scoff at my definition of happiness, but it's uniquely my own. I ask that you take a moment to define happiness in your life. Whatever your definition may be, graduates, I urge you, fight for it, claim it. This class is special, and you are destined for greatness. Now, go out and find your happiness. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2019.
That was well said, Mr. Mendoza, and I can hope that you rest assured there'll be a few of us checking under our beds tonight for snakes. It's my pleasure this evening to introduce the keynote speaker. Mr. Ryan Patel is widely regarded as a thought leader in global business and an expert in scaling companies and brands. His deep knowledge in economies, innovation, strategy, and consumer trends have made him an expert in growing public traded companies as well as startups worldwide. Mr. Patel's experience includes growing a young company, Pinkberry, into an industry leader. As the Vice President of Global Development, Mr. Patel facilitated Pinkberry's expansion from 95 locations to over 270 stores in 23 countries, making it one of the fastest growing retail brands. His unique and inherent knowledge of the ever-changing nature of trends and how they impact business has been vital in providing valuable strategy and leadership for some of the world's most innovative companies such as Jamba Juice, Wet Seal, BJ's Restaurants, and Panda Restaurant Groups. He is sought out for his expertise in developing domestic and international growth plans across multicultural and cross-functional teams. In 2015, he was awarded Executive of the Year by the Los Angeles Business Journal, and in 2017, Inc. listed him as one of 9 executive and innovators who serve as an inspiration for how all businesses can make a difference. He recently received the 2018 Connect Award for Business Leader of the Year by the National Association of Asian American Professionals. Equally impressive, though, is his commitment to giving back and paying it forward. He currently serves on several advisory boards ranging from social responsibilities to technology and is a board of director at the American Red Cross for Los Angeles. His passion for combining social good and business has earned him accolades from the highest level, receiving a special United States congressional recognition for outstanding services to the community. Mr. Patel will look very familiar to you if you watch CNN, BBC, and a slew of other networks, as he is a common requested guest. He's been featured in Entrepreneur, on NASDAQ, and much more. He is a senior fellow with the Drucker School of Management at Claremont Graduate University, and in his spare time shares his experiences, insight, and passion with business leaders and students around the world. So tonight, we are very lucky to have him here. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming our 2019 keynote speaker, Mr. Ryan Patel.
Well, that was an introduction. Thank you. Thank you to the Fairmont team for having me, inviting me here tonight. Thank you to the parents, family, friends that are actually in attendance, and those I see you streaming live, here to support the 2019 graduating class. To the class, you've made it, so congratulations. We are here to celebrate, obviously, you all. But I want to address one thing right away. In life, nothing's ever given to you. You must take it and work for it. Don't forget this feeling. You worked for it to get to this point. You did it, and you can actually brush off your shoulder if you like. You can. You guys can do it. There, I see that. I see it. Because you do have to be confident and celebrate your wins. That satisfaction feeling that you have right now, I know it won't be enough. Wait, what? You may not realize it. You will want more. Getting a chance to speak with quite a few of you at the reception, I could already tell. Your mind, your passion, you're thinking about the next thing. What else can I do? And that's what makes you great. So I unfortunately said I told social media that I was going to be here today to speak at the this graduation. And let's just say I got a lot of advice. What should I say? So someone told me I should say this. I'm going to read this. The world's out there for you. Nothing's impossible. See, you're laughing. That's exactly what I did. I was trying to hold it in. This advice is something that my mother and my mother-in-law would tell me. Well, guess what? It was from them. And I'm laughing, not because it's not true, but I'm laughing because we are also realistic. The road doesn't get easier. You will face challenges, but I think you already know that. And that's half the battle. You will face a range of emotions. You'll be frustrated, happy, crying, and more crying. I'm not a crier, but I've cried. Almost anywhere. But that doesn't mean you can't keep things simple. Something I try to tell myself every day, focus on the simple things that will lead you to be the best person that you can be. No matter how hectic life will become, remember what has gotten you here. You and only you can control that. Nobody outside of that room can control that. Nobody can take away what you've earned. Right now, you've earned this today. And maybe tomorrow you'll forget about it, but in a year or two, you will realize nobody can take this away from you. So you should feel very proud. But I also want to mention a few things. How you evolve to become a better leader and a member of society, either for your company, in the future, for your team, for your family, and for yourself is important. And I wanted to share a few things that I've realized that I've come across globally, across different countries, different people, and in my career. Having entrepreneurial spirit. Typically, this term is used for founders and entrepreneurs. But I believe everybody has a spirit. I know it's one of your principles that you've come across here at Fairmont. But I've been around some of the top, not just business leaders, engineers, doctors, those who are trying to make social good, social change. This is not something that's just taught in one road. Let your creativity, carefree mind flow. Look to challenge the norm. Ask why we do these things this way. Do not be afraid. Why is this important? How can I make this better? Does this sound familiar? This is how we've evolved as society and where we are today. And if you don't know, all you got to do is hit the business news and you'll see some new IPO coming out, new company trying to disrupt something. I wish I would have explored this at this stage of my life. I don't want to say I was afraid, but I was afraid to see what else I can do. I feel like you were always told to be good at one thing and just do that one thing really well. Why can't you be good at multiple things? And if anyone I've learned, and all the companies I work for breaking down consumers, the millennials and Gen Zs have told me you could be good at multiple things. And that's impressive. But I also want to tell you that it's not always this frustration part that you will go to your next part of your life when you go to college, when you get to different places that you want. And I do want to, like I mentioned, I share simple things. I'm a simple-minded person when it comes to how to break down my career. I remember one thing very much. I call it the PowerPoint example. The PowerPoint example is when I was young in my career, I was given a PowerPoint to mark up. That wasn't my job, but I felt I could do more. I felt that I was leading strategy of a certain company. Why am I not getting credit for this? Why am I not having this job? Why is it not me? Why am I not getting that opportunity? I look at myself and I go, wow, I can't believe those kind of thoughts went in my head. Naturally, it happens. But what happens is frustration leads to a lot of bad things in your entire life. It doesn't affect just your work, it affects your personal peace. So this PowerPoint was for the board. And you know what I ended up doing? I marked it up, gave it back. but I took the initiative to learn every single thing about that thing that I could present it better than that person. Not only did I do that, I actually found stuff that they missed every time and handed it back the way it was supposed to, had this extra thing, extra information. And what do you think information they ended up using in the meeting? The information that I gave them. What happened when it was time for a project and nobody else wanted to spearhead? Who do you think got it? I did. And I remember, I can name you, maybe not to all the details, but almost every single mall in the US, the most irrelevant information you can have. I can tell you the lease plans, I can tell you the top trade areas in Boston, New York, Michigan. I can tell you that, Fashion Valley in San Diego has 18 million visitors to that mall. I can tell you South Coast Plaza has almost as much as visitors as Disneyland. I can tell you all this. No one gave it to me. I just studied and wanted to do it. So when I had the chance to have that opportunity, when I got that opportunity, I would be ready. Because guess what? No one's going to give me that opportunity. I have to prepare myself. And fortunately, it didn't come faster, but it took a little longer. And I got that opportunity, and I was able to run with it. Again, I tell you this because that was a crucial part of my life, that I was just looking and comparing myself to all my other peers. Why are they getting it? Why is it me? It's not about them. It's about you. So don't just do a task. Understand the task. Work on becoming an expert yourself. Bit by bit, I know you will do it. So the other thing I want to tell you about, build people. You're like, what? What are you talking about, Ryan? Build people. I'm not working yet. I'm just graduating. I don't even have a full-time job. My parents are telling me, what are you going to do with your life? What major are you going to go to? Parents don't do that anymore? I guess they still do, but that's okay. But that's all true. I don't have a team to lead. But you interact with people on a daily basis. Set the tone. Be positive. It's infectious. A smile can do wonders. It says here I'm supposed to wait for you to smile back. Okay, good. But laughter can too. You're creating the culture around you, and you don't even know about it. Honesty, being genuine, you see all these buzzwords out there, either in the media or, in companies. This is where it starts, if you really want to be that. You don't become genuine by tomorrow. It's the people that you have around you. Create smarter networks with diversity. What I mean by that, when people tell you, let's go networking with people, yeah, network with people that are like-minded, network with people that are different fields, different interests. You'll be imagined what you can learn. I've learned, my wife, by trade, is an engineer, and even my schooling, I was around a lot of engineers. Obviously, I'm not an engineer. They see problems typically from this side, going back the other way, and I see problems the other way. I learned so much to realize I'm not worthy. But I learned that I can take what they've learned and add value to myself. And like I said, when you can really see that, that's when you can continue to move forward. There's another thing. I have a lot of students come up to me and go, man, I read these buzzwords. Fail fast. Make mistakes. Yes! It's like the old game, that telephone game? Like I tell someone tells a message and it goes back. Well, you forgot the second half of that message. Failing fast, make mistakes is great. What's the message? You got to learn from them. And not just learn. I want you to dissect the why. Spend time understanding why there was mistakes. You will be surprised and find out that it'll send you a different direction. That's my message. And finally, something that gets overly overlooked and usually put in the back burner. Invest in yourself. Now, this is something that I typically give to executives this term. Invest in yourself. But I'm giving it to you. How do you invest in yourself? taking care of the mind, body, and soul. Self-empowerment starts with small things. Take ownership of every task, especially the little ones. Self-empowerment is much about proving it to yourself as proving yourself to others. Have you noticed this theme? It's about you. You can never forget about that. If you don't add value to yourself, who will? If you don't care, who will? And one of the things I've learned through looking at different cultures and different businesses and different individuals, sometimes you put your self-being to the side and you'll just say, I'll get through it. I'll come back. I'll get that extra sleep next year. It doesn't work that way. And you want to be a positive impact, however big, small, they all add up. You influence other people. Indirect influence, to me, is one of the biggest leadership skills that anybody can have. Like I said, indirect influence. What people do, what people see, that lasts forever. Always keep learning. And one of the things that I have always said, be global, have a global mindset. Well, what does that mean, Ryan? That means I have to travel? That doesn't mean you have to travel the world. But be curious about other cultures, the differences and similarities. We live in a world that is very interconnected. Your openness to new vantage points is critical, and trust me, it will be a valued asset in the future, because if you don't know if we're globally connected, you're going to be in for a ride over the next few years, because we are much, much closer than we ever will be. When I graduated from UC Berkeley, I wanted to do one thing. I wanted to backpack to Europe. Not having enough money, I just bought one of those Euro passes. I bought, obviously in a shoestring budget, no tours, no nothing. All I ate was bread, cheese, and that power bar that was supposed to be banana flavor. It's not funny. Some of us can't afford the chocolate flavor. And I ate that banana thing all the time. It was bad. But I learned something on that trip. There was a lot of things. It was 29 days, 11 countries. I learned that my knees, I can never do it again. I learned that instead of taking other people's opinions about other countries and other people, go out and meet them. You'll be surprised what openness affects change. I remember at that time of my life, almost 2 decades ago, people were talking about certain countries, how they didn't like Americans, or they didn't like whatever the case was. I didn't get that sense. Not only that, I now take my family to those countries because of how warmly they felt, and I didn't take other people's opinions behind it. This group is obviously, this group and this generation is powerful. Don't forget, you are a generation. I've said this live on TV multiple times. We live in a society that communities of people, consumers, actually have a voice. This generation cannot be ignored. I'm not just saying this because you're in front of me. Like I said, I've said this on air multiple times because what you've done to cause to other companies and in the news. It's no coincidence that social responsibility is getting stronger. Governments and companies have to answer to their employees and consumers. You are facing major corporations who come to me and go, we got to figure out how to offer volunteer hours. This group of people are asking us, they're choosing less money to ensure that their values get in line. What do we do? Do the right thing. You're forcing them. My goal eventually, and this is part of the reason why I wanted to be here, was I want everyone together as one community. Gender equity, inclusion of society, that we are one group. We don't have to be all in separate places. And we are not equal as of today. There's gender equity. And the group that I believe that will put us there is this group, because they see it from a different lens. And to me, that's very exciting, because you do then have that blank canvas to be able to make a change. In my final remarks, don't give in. No matter how close of quitting, be patient, be resilient. And first and foremost, be you. Find your passion, find your voice. You can rewrite your story. Your journey will always be rewarding. Trust me. It may not always feel like you're there fast, but putting yourself in situations to be successful. I'm going to repeat that again. Sometimes you may not know where your path is, going down, whatever path you want to go down. But if you continue to do the right thing, stick to your beliefs and values, and you continue to put yourself in good positions, you will do good things. And I would like my last words to sum up my sentiment in a phrase on behalf of the graduation class, of talking to a few of them I got to meet. And it's a phrase that's been in some music songs, it's been in a classic game that I can't play anymore. Ready or not, here we come. Thank you.
As Mr. Patel said along his thoughts here, there is a belief among many that this time on our planet is the most exciting time in history, and that graduates, you are going to be part of a group that facilitates the greatest advancements in every field of human endeavor and on every subject. You know, our wish for you is to experience the limitless magnificence of humankind expressed through sport, health, art, technology, science, really every single field of creation. We look to you with an excitement of what's to come, and also with a bit of melancholy as we send you on to new adventures. And as part of this send-off, the Prep Concert Choir, who I'm giving a lot of time to get up here, perfect. As part of this send-off, the Prep Concert Choir will now perform a song that has become a Prep Academy graduation ceremony tradition. Time to say goodbye. the Prep Concert Choir. Oh, they need another round of applause. That was beautiful. Beautiful. How are you doing, graduates? You're getting very close. One more speaker. Well, two. But this next one's going to be really fun. Mr. David Jackson is our next speaker this evening. Mr. Jackson, son of Fairmont founders Kenneth and Helen Holt, grew up with Fairmont and first became a staff member in 1959 as a junior camp counselor. After high school, Mr. Jackson studied at Brigham Young University and began a successful business career in the aircraft industry. Fairmont and family ultimately drew him back, and he became the business manager, and then 9 months later took over as director of Fairmont. And for the next 20 years, he helped grow Fairmont from one Anaheim campus with 500 students to become Orange County's premier private school with over 2,000 preschool to high school students at 5 campuses. So it was natural that in 1999, he and his wife, Mrs. Stacy Jackson, purchased the Fairmont private schools from his parents and became second-generation family owners. A man of tremendous vision, David Jackson has continued to expand Fairmont's educational influence by growing Fairmont Education Group to include Fairmont private schools, Fairmont summer programs, Fairmont International School, and Thesis International. As a tribute to his exceptional leadership, Fairmont has been awarded with honors such as the U.S. Department of Education Blue Ribbon School of Excellence and named Best Family-Owned Business by both Orange County Business Journal and Cal State University at Fullerton. His high standards and far-reaching vision have played an integral part in establishing Fairmont's stellar reputation in the community. It is no wonder we've been voted best private school in Orange County for 4 years in a row and earn accolades for prestigious accrediting bodies like NACE, WASC, and Advanced Ed. Now, after returning in October 2016 from their second church mission trip to Russia and Eastern Europe, where he infamously flew a Russian MiG over Siberia, yes, it's true, Mr. Jackson is once again serving as the CEO and chairman of the board of Fairmont Education Group. He recently named his son Chad as the new president of Fairmont, but will continue to share his passion as the cheerleader and visionary for what we hope will be many years to come. It is my great privilege to introduce to you this evening Mr. David Jackson.
Thank you very much. When I hear that song, it's one of my favorites, it makes me think again what I did over 25 years ago when I said, I'm tired of saying goodbye to our 8th grade students then and said, I'm going to start a high school. I think it's time that Fairmont starts a university. What do you think? I think we can do better than any of them. To my outstanding Fairmont Prep class of 2019, I am so honored and excited to join with my esteemed Fairmont Preparatory Academy faculty and staff, with your parents, family members, and friends, to honor your great achievement of graduating from what I truly believe is one of the best schools in the world. You students really are outstanding. Reading and hearing about your accomplishments this year, including your brilliance in the classroom, your leadership and business skills, your service and help to others, your talents in the arts, your prowess in athletics is even more mind-blowing. This year, your Prep's football, boys basketball, girls soccer, boys soccer, girls tennis, co-ed badminton, and boys volleyball teams all went to the playoffs. That's truly amazing. Especially for a school that's known so well as an academic powerhouse. But when you've got academics, you guys can do anything. The boys basketball team even went all the way to win the 4A CIF championship this year. Go ahead. Your Fairmont Prep debate team earned more qualifiers to the Tournament of Champions than any other public or private school in the nation, and now is rated #1 in the nation. I'm sure your teachers have seen that because you guys are pretty good at debating. Your seniors earned offers of admissions to over 180 of the top colleges and universities in the United States and the world. And senior Kat Nugent's design helped your team win the Imaginary Award for the HKY Atlas at the Orange County Regionals. These accomplishments over the many years you have attended Fairmont certifies to me and to the world that you're not only outstanding students, but you are really ready to tackle the most challenging universities in the world. You can, and I believe you will, find the greatest success in everything you put your mind to as you continue to grow as exemplary citizens of this world. You can and will be the hope we all have for the future as you continue your quest to be the best. I'd like to take a few moments now and continue a tradition that I've had ever since I've been here at Fairmont for the last 40 years, and recognize the journey of our Fairmont graduates from their first days with us when they were little toddlers. All of you who started at Fairmont in preschool or kindergarten, would you please stand that we can recognize you? Got to think a little bit. Okay, please remain standing while we ask all of you that joined us from Fairmont in 1st through 6th grade in elementary school, would you join us? Now those of you that joined us in junior high school, go ahead and stand up. And last but not least, those of you that joined us in high school. Good, I think all of you caught it. I've had some years where a few of you were still sitting and I said, when did you join us? But please give them a really wonderful round of applause for. You can be seated, thank you. I have another tradition that I want to share with all of you. I've talked to your faculty members and I want to share what they and what I remember from your many years that you've been attending Fairmont. Lynn Anderson shared, Xerxes was in my kindergarten class. I remember that he was our class scientist. He read every science book I had in my classroom. He also gave us reports to all of us about the ocean and sea life. But I found, Xerxes, that it seemed like everyone at North Tustin definitely remembers you. You started out nervous and a stranger in the hallways and ended up navigating the entire school with your eyes closed. You played many sports at North Tustin, but performing on stage was your hidden talent. Just last month, I was amazed when I saw you and the rest of your colleagues and students, and especially you and your co-star, perform and perfect your acting talents on the prep stage. And afterwards, I even asked you and your co-star if you would autograph my program from the musical Chicago. You didn't autograph it then, so I need to get it later, because I think that thing will be worth millions when you guys get your first Oscar, and I really think that will happen. So I'll see you afterwards for that. Kyle Kishimoto. In 1st grade at Historic Anaheim, you came to Mrs. Sanders for enrichment because you were working far beyond your peers doing 6th grade math in 1st grade. You were amazing. but you were still a typical 6-year-old. When Mrs. Sanders asked you to sign her yearbook, you wrote, "You look like a baby." You laughed so hard that you fell out of your seat onto the floor. Mr. Calabria remembered too, and he added this: "Even though you were extremely intelligent, you seemed very confused when it came to staying in your seat." He continued, "You have always been a little squirrely and also super ticklish. One touch on your shoulder and you would be on the ground in a flash." Mrs. Cornish said, "Mariano Chacon was always polite, respectful, and smart. However, while in the 4th grade, he already had his eyes on the girls. I remember intercepting a note that Mario and his friends were passing around the classroom, which listed the names of the girls that they liked." Now, Kevin Curran, you're not off the hook. Mrs. Cornish later found out that you were one of the friends who was also passing around that list of girls you liked the best in 4th grade. And now, Mr. Calabria added even more. Kevin and Kyle Curran and Mario Chacon were all there to greet me when I moved from the HAC campus to the Anaheim Hills campus. Your welcome wasn't necessarily positive and exciting. You were more concerned whether I would be rooting at your sporting events for HAC or for Anaheim Hills. He said you guys made it clear that you would only allow him to root for Anaheim Hills. That's kind of mean for the HAC ones, aren't it? Lauren Jew. Mrs. Fault said you were one of the smallest students in my 1st grade class, but you were also one of the feistiest. This came as no surprise, as you had 2 older brothers to contain with every day. You were also confident and outspoken and had the cutest smile that pretty much helped you get away with anything. Does she still do that? I thought so. Mr. Calabria also remembers you, Lauren. You were also known as quite a climber by the HAC faculty. Even in your house, you would climb to the top of the bookshelf in order to get a book, even at your age of 3. And as a 6th grader, Mrs. Patterson was very dubious of your climbing ability. But then another 6th grade teacher, who will remain nameless, once challenged you at recess to climb on Mrs. Patterson. In a span of 3 seconds, you were comfortably perched on Mrs. Patterson's shoulder. Sarah Shiu, you were always quiet and crafty, according to Mr. Calabria. At the 8th grade bounding trip, you got him to help you by luring the boys outside so you girls could pelt the boys with water balloons. However, the first water balloon you threw hit Mr. Calabria. He still wonders why you hit the one person who helped you. And in 4th grade, Mrs. Cornish also remembers you, but she was just singled you out as an exceptional student who always went above and beyond all of your assignments. Raj Sahwini. Mrs. Fault said she knows teachers have said this before about you, but I'll say it again. Raj has a very old soul. He was still able to play and behave like a typical 1st grader, but he also had this maturity about him that set him apart. He was wise beyond his years in the way he was emphatic and truly cared about the whole world and others around him. He wasn't too talkative in class, but when he did speak, he chose his words carefully, and there was meaning behind them. Does that sound familiar? Oh, yeah. Jake Palmer. Mrs. Fault said in your first year at Fairmont, you were in my first grade summer school class. You were a cute, wide-eyed student, but had a very good poker face. I was never quite sure if you liked me or not. You didn't laugh at my jokes, and it took a bit of work to make you smile. I came to realize that you just had a quiet confidence about yourself. I am happy to say that through your years at HAC and the prep, you finally gave me a friendly smile and a hello. I'll take that as a sign that you do like me. Each one of you has a highlight reel of achievements from your time at Fairmont. You can revel in your victories, class of 2019. You've worked hard for them, but don't forget to thank those who have helped you on the way. So at this time, I'd like to ask all of you teachers, coaches, counselors, administrators, and staff who have helped these outstanding students over their years at Fairmont to please stand throughout the crowd. If you remain standing for a second. I'd like to ask all of you parents and grandparents that have also supported them in so many ways, if you please stand now too, so we can recognize you. That should be a lot of you that are out there. Graduates, look at this group and let them know what you think and give them your opportunity to say thank you. All of these wonderful people share in your successes. This is a victory for them as well. I know they are bursting with pride at your accomplishments. I also couldn't be more proud of you. To the class of 2019, go out into the world with confidence and with all of our best wishes for every joy and success in life that you can find. But I have one more request. Before you go, I want you to do me a big favor that I haven't asked before. Even though to you I may be an old guy, I want to continue what I started 12 years ago and try to stay in touch with you and call or text or email you for the next 5 years on your birthday. But I would like to send you, and I will be sending you, my personal cell phone number and ask you to put it in your contacts list so when I call you, you'll answer the phone. I know that most of us now, and I'm one of them too, if I don't see the name that I recognize, I ignore it because it's probably a sales call. I promise you I won't be selling anything. I just want to wish you a happy birthday. But it's become kind of disappointing that most of you don't answer the call anymore because you don't know who it is. So will you do that for me? Promise? Because I know where you're going to school. I'll track you down. Thank you so much, and congratulations to the Fairmont class of 2019.
Every year when I have the honor of introducing the Preparatory Academy's valedictorian, I am always struck by the impressive accomplishments and unrelenting drive of such young students on the cusp of a bright future. This year is no different. However, this year's graduate has achieved something that only one other student in Fairmont history has ever succeeded in attaining, a perfect 5.0 GPA. This talented and ambitious young man is Camille Cabaz. To say that Camille is a standout student is a gross understatement. He already boasts a notable resume before even beginning college. Not only has he excelled in his ACEP and AP courses, his passion for science has inspired him to immerse himself in a research internship at UCI in the Department of Medicine and Biological Chemistry, which is truly a remarkable undertaking for a busy high school student. A professor of his at UCI described Camille as having experimental prowess and the ability to learn molecular techniques, I can't even say it, but molecular techniques at a level comparable to a graduate student. His counselors, teachers at Fairmont sing similar praises of Camille, calling him someone with a genuine desire to make the world better, someone who is a testament to integrity and grit, and perhaps the most impressive, the most brilliant student I have ever worked with. Camille consumes knowledge with a veracity rarely seen. One look at his transcripts is proof that he is driven to learn. For example, last year he took AP Bio, AP Chem, AP Lang, AP US History, Organic Chemistry, Differentiated Equations, Mathematical Structures, and played CIF tennis. I know. And trust me, this year's schedule was equally demanding, and yet it did not surprise any of us when he was named an international biology scholar with distinction. But there is so much more to Camille than his academic success. He is a proud brother, a loving son, and a loyal friend. And although the comparisons to the endearing character Sheldon Cooper are obvious at times, Camille's wit is quick, sly, and sharp. His friends know, keep the football away from him, and stay away from his hand sanitizer. He reads science books for fun, and his attempts at parking his car perfectly is legendary. And by the applause, you can tell he is a well-loved member of the prep community. Camille Cabaz leaves the prep a better place because of his contributions and achievements. The entire Fairmont family proudly wishes Camille the very best as he attends the University of Chicago this fall. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the podium your 2019 valedictorian, Camille Cabaz.
Hi, everyone. Rest assured, this won't be too long. I want to get out of here too. Congratulations. Even though today is our day, soon to be first years, we've got to start by showing our appreciation for our overworked parents and family members who, without their help, none of us would be here today. And let's not forget to thank the exhausted faculty waiting to never have to deal with our complaints and my appeals for extra credit ever again. In all seriousness, we cannot fully express our gratitude for all that you have done, and to the teachers for all the emails that you've answered. I think I've reached 200 with some of you. Now, there are a couple of options for what I could do. I could just stand here and tell you why the class of 2019 is the best one ever. Which we are, but who hasn't heard that before? I could also squeeze 4 years of my high school memories into 4 minutes and just pretend that we all had that one experience. Or I could share some lessons that I learned, things that could turn out to be helpful one day, but could also turn out to be completely wrong since they're coming from me. You know what? I'm going with the last one. Last year, I was pulled to pieces because for one of my classes, what I was reading in my textbook was the exact opposite of what I was being taught. I didn't know who or what to follow, and I did not know what to do. Each day became filled with endless contradiction, and I was lost. But that didn't happen to anyone else. No one dared to bring up the discrepancy because they feared, no, we feared, doubting the person qualified to lead us. We were pulled by the narcotic desire to embrace what we were being told, and allured by the bliss of blind acceptance and ignorance of the truth for the hope of a higher grade in the class. In other words, we just wanted to avoid yet another problem in the notorious junior year. Yet it happens to all of us all the time. It doesn't matter where, but whenever we come at odds with those above us, we are told to stop and just believe that we're wrong. We see ourselves as mistaken fools in comparison to the old and wise. Many times this is true. We are fools, we are wrong, but in the words of Winston Churchill, the greatest lesson in life is to know that even fools are right sometimes. Whether or not you end up being right that specific time doesn't really matter, because one time you will be. Don't hesitate. Trust that instinct, take exception, take a stand, and let your voice be heard, especially when your thoughts are different from those of everyone else. Nelson Mandela tells us that there is no passion to be found for living small, in playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. Just as how we tend to abandon our own viewpoints, we often limit our ambition and imagination for our future because we repeatedly want the easy way out. On the journey towards our goals, both big and small, people may ask why we have them in the first place. When I would be working on something, people would often come to me and ask, why are you even doing this? What's the point? I'm sure that many of you have faced this same scenario with your own pursuits. The problem is that when we keep hearing and thinking and dwelling on this idea, we doubt ourselves. We see ourselves a fool, play small, and forget why we really do what we do. We forget that our greatest moments are triumphs over towering struggles and the landmarks on our lifelong journey. We need to recall our motivations. Perhaps what drives you is childlike excitement, pure joy, or the desire to succeed at something that first seems impossible. Remember this. Never think yourself the fool. Always dream big, and never forget why you really do what you do. After each stage in life, one's perception of the world around them completely transforms, and he or she cannot go back. Compare this to the prisoners in Plato's allegory of the cave who spend their entire lives only able to see blurry shadows on a blank wall and are then overwhelmed when freed to the outside world, discovering vivid textures and colors beyond what they ever perceived and changing their entire idea of reality. Through the 4 years of our high school experience, we have each become Plato's freed prisoner. Through sports seasons, art exhibits, spring rallies, and math finals, we have each grown and progressed. Now, we see through a different lens, in a different light, and have redefined our perceptions. Our aspirations have been shaped again and again by our experiences as we matured, and we cannot go back. Yet the beauty in such a journey is that it is not a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but rather it happens again and again. Life is about continuously thriving and setting your heart on larger ideals after each milestone you encounter. Our ways will be shattered and rebuilt over and over again to reach higher than ever before. We're almost ready for what lies ahead. Just remember that even as goals shift and come and go, stay set on accomplishing them. Never think yourself the fool, yet do not be afraid to be one. That gut feeling can be very useful and turn out to be right sometimes, so take it to heart. Never, ever forget why you really do what you do. Arrive at each stage of your life with both limitless aspirations and the grit needed to achieve them. And always be eager to become that freed prisoner and change for the better. Thank you. Farewell.
Camille Cabaz, ladies and gentlemen. Good job. Okay, you go. At this time, I welcome Headmaster Robert Mendoza back to the podium to certify the diplomas.
So this is the part we've all been waiting for. The certification and then obviously the granting of diplomas. Before we do that, quick note to our graduating seniors. As we talked about yesterday, you will receive the diploma in front. Take the picture with Mr. Jackson. Off to the right is another photo opportunity, and that is for you to just have fun with, and it's a much more casual setting. So please, when you exit the stage, go ahead and take your secondary photo to my right. Okay. Now, the official stuff. As headmaster of the Preparatory Academy, and in accordance with the Education Code of the State of California, I hereby certify these members of the class of 2019 as having successfully completed the course of study for high school graduation.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the class of 2018 and 2019. Beginning with Kofi Abowaje. Jie Ao. Lisette Barillas. Ria Berry. Reed Brabrownicki. Harshita Kavle. Unbin Cha. Juan Mariano Chacon. Brittany Chan. Zane Chow. En Chen. Ken Chen. Kenneth Choi. 听一处 Dion Cleghorn Rower. Wei Dai. Amanda Dalby. Brian Dodge III. Ting Shuodong. Lucia Dong. Serena Fan. Kellen Fisley. Tom Fu. Qian Lang Gao. Violetta Gashenko. Arpana Ganchani. Harman Gotra. Sheridan Glover. Angel Gonzalez. Siobhan Gulati. Ho Yun Henry Ha. Chen Hang. Mingyu He. Finn Hill. Scott Hong. Sarah Xiao. Tingyang Huang. Maha Ishaq. Abel Jimenez Cornejo. Bingxin Jin. Yumeng Jin. Lauren Ju. Kevin Karam. Kyle Karam. Camille Cabaz. Dana Kim. Michael Kim. Kyle Kishimoto. Elizaveta Kulek. Casey Kuramoto. Iggy Kwan. Bella Lamb. Chloe Lee. Chen Long Li. Jingbo Li. Alyssa Lee. Elizabeth Lee. Bo Yu Lin. Yumi Lin. Yufan Lin. Sizhou Liu. Dongyang Lu. Terrence Ma. Tasmania Malaga. Samuel Martinez Gross. Jessamine McClarty Schroeder. Camille Tongson Mejia. Kevin Mang. Aaron Mifpasong. Tasha Ngo. An Tu Nguyen. Brian Nguyen. Han Nguyen. Min An Nguyen. Nguyen Duc Truy Nguyen. Thao Thi Hoang Nguyen. That Duc Nguyen. Thi Ngọc An Nguyen. Tram Thai An Nguyen. Ozi Chuku Obia Malu. Isabella Ohm. Vishwa Padigapati. Jake Palmer. Ethan Pham. Ngoc Hong Nhi Pham. Anna Christina Monio. Patharapa Prampasert. Imad Razak. Edib Sadat. Shanvir Shandu. Raj Sani. Anushka Shah. Chloe Shin. Tiffany Enoa Sun. Marek Svoboda. Jack Toe. Tam Trin. V. Trung. Andrew Twinstra. Diep Ngọc Vũ. Hong Yi Wang, Cindy Wang, Saya Wang, Peter Wang, Brian Wright, Qingye Wu, Binyuan Xiao, Yan Xuan, Ali Yamada, James Yen, Xinjiang Yang, Yi Yang, Yang Zedong, Lance Ye, Minyi You, Qian Yu, Ruiyang Yu, Emma Yuan, Savannah Zand, Xerxes Zengane, Jintao Zhai, Rika Zhang, Xincheng Zhang, Yiran Zhang, Yue Zhang, Jasmine Zhang. Fei Zi Zhao. Kellen Zhao. Last but not least, Mia Zhao. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for their 2018-2019 Fairmont Prep graduates.
Graduates, please stand. Please move your tassel from the right to left, signifying your graduation from Fairmont Preparatory Academy. Now, with a lot of help from our choir, if I could get our graduates to please turn and face the audience so we could recite the alma mater one last time. Choir, we really need your help. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, hey. Ladies and gentlemen, I proudly present the graduating class of 2019. Congratulations.